Hi fam, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time, please don't make it your last. Click on the subscribe button and join this family. So what we do here is to share life transforming videos, we share ideas together, and it's not just me, okay? We have a community, and we just bring a topic and we dissect and we talk about it, okay? So today we're going to be talking about before you get married. Guys, this is such an important topic and it's so wide. And what we've been trying to establish, look, I'm just going to be talking from my mind, from my heart, okay? So there will be so many points that will come as we speak. There will be so many points that I may miss out, okay? But please, as we are a community of people, let us just talk about this in the comment section. Someone is reading your comments. Someone is going to be encouraged. Someone is going to be enlightened by the comments that you give, okay? So I live in Nigeria, and the society where we live in, marriage, especially for women, has become some sort of a big deal. Like, it is a big deal. It is something that people measure your progress and your success by. Like, you know, when you, let's say you meet someone, like, and generally women, actually, we're very relational beings. So when you meet a woman, you ask her, how are you doing? What do you do? And she's quick to tell you how, oh, her name is this, she's married to this, and she has so number of kids and all of that. But when you meet a man, they tell you about their jobs, their businesses. So again, we're very relational beings, and I mean women are very relational. We just, you know, we thrive on relationships. We are more emotional, you know, sometimes. So relationships, marriages, it's such a big deal for us. You know, having kids, such a big deal for women. Now, society sometimes makes it worse. Like, it is the way you are measured sometimes. And now, there's a lot of misconception about it. There's a lot of different stuff, okay? It's a very, very broad topic. So what we try to do here is keep it short, keep it simple, get to know the things you need to know before you get married, okay? Before you get married, the first thing, if you're not new on this channel, you know it, and it is, have you prayed about it? As cliche again as it sounds, marriage is one decision that can change your life forever. Literally, like literally change your life forever. The person you get married to is, if I'm not going to be exaggerating, is going to be responsible for about 90 something percent of your entire life. I mean, even it may be as serious as you being able to make heaven. Yeah. Like, marriage might be able to determine where you spend eternity. And this is the truth. It is so important. When you're getting married to somebody, you're getting married to them, you're getting married to their families, you're going to have children by them. If you want to have children, by God's grace, you know, you're going to be raising kids with them. They're going to form a template for the rest of your life. Your children are going to look at this person to build a life, to build a template for life. So it's very important. It's not a decision that you just make because I'm done with primary school, I'm in secondary school, I'm done with secondary school, I'm in university, I'm done with university, I've done my youth service, I've done my master's, now it's time for marriage. And let me be honest with you, a lot of us fall into these traps, okay? I, for one, I kind of fell into that trap of, you know, it's just the next thing. It is just the next thing on the agenda, you know? And sometimes we don't get to step back and pray about it and commune with God and say, what is your plan for me about this? And so that's why, you know, we would have people who are very successful doctors, but they're not successful in marriage. They're very successful lawyers, but they're not successful in marriage because they have been able to. So I'm jumping to the second point, and because I don't want to overstress it, have you prayed about it? Now, the rest of the point that I'm going to be giving to you is so tied to this first point for you to know how important it is for you to pray about it. Okay, so the second thing is, how ready are you in terms of knowledge acquisition? Some of us spend 4 years in the university to study a course. Some of us spend 5 years, 6 years, 7 years even. And then you discover that you have a very successful doctor, but who is not successful at marriage because they have spent zero time investing and trying to build knowledge into it. Look, even if you are 18 years old, I hope you're not getting married before 18 years old, but even if you're 18 years old, you have spent 18 years of your life as a human being, as a complete person, and then you're going to be meeting someone else who has spent that number of years of their life separately, different backgrounds, different ideologies, different culture, different family. You're going to be coming together to now build a culture, to build a generation, to come together. Yoruba is where I come from, the western part of the country, and there's an adage that says even the tongue and the teeth do fight, right? So how much more two completely grown up separate human beings coming together to form a union? If you're not ready, if you're not prepared, if you haven't researched, if you haven't known what is expected of you, if you have not invested in books, in mentorship, in videos, in materials, you are going to have what is called culture shock. Yeah, similar to when you travel to another part of the world and then you're seeing how people behave different from how you behave. It's going to shock you. It shock you, it's going to shock you. Okay, so have you spent time to invest in knowledge acquisition about the institute of marriage, about this thing called marriage, before you even now decide to marry the person? I hope I'm communicating this point very clearly. The third thing I'm going to talk about is, are you a whole, complete person, first of all? I think it's unfair for you to look to another person to provide joy, peace, happiness, and love, except the Holy Spirit. Nobody has that responsibility to provide everything that you need. Come on, that's no, don't do that. Okay, that's so much pressure on one person, and then you're just setting up yourself for disappointment. Are you a completely whole person? Look, if you don't enjoy your single life, yeah, you don't enjoy being single and whole, you will not really be happy being married. People have the opinion that, he's going to make me happy, she's going to make me happy, she's going to complete me, and all of those things. If you're not a complete person by yourself, trust me, nobody can complete you. Nobody can complete you, okay? First of all, there's a hole in man that only God can fill. Apart from that, you have to be completely whole yourself. This has to be emotional. This has to be spiritual. I've heard a lot of men say, oh, my wife can pray, eh? I'm like, what happened to you? You are the one that is supposed to be the spiritual head of your home. Why are you dependent on your wife's prayer? I've heard some women say, oh, my mother can pray. Why are you dependent on somebody else's prayer life for your life? So if you're not a completely whole person, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, please put that marriage thought on hold. You see, these days, it's very, very funny how people actually get married for financial reasons. People have economic reasons for getting married. Why have you thought that God cannot prosper you by yourself? Like you have to be married to somebody to be prosperous. You can be prosperous by yourself. Again, please don't misjudge me. I'm not saying that. I'm not shooting this video to tell you not to get married. I'm only saying these are the things you should think about. These are the things you should know about before you are even thinking of getting married. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to be a completely whole person. Spiritually, are you covering yourself before you're looking for somebody that will cover you? Or, do you understand what I'm saying? Physically, are you fine by yourself? Do you enjoy your own company? Or do you think that it's always going to be bubbles and gist and... I listened to a message by Pastor Kingsley Ike, and he said that, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo, and he said that for, a lot of people get married because of the sexual relation, and he's like, no matter how great or good, maybe like you are jumping up and down, everything, this will be 1 hour. Last prize, 1 hour. What are you going to do with the remaining 23 hours? Okay, maybe you sleep for 6 hours or 7 hours or, I don't know, 14 hours. But you have to be completely fine by yourself. You have to enjoy your own company. Else, you're just going to be looking onto someone else. I remember this story that I heard from someone. She's like, after the marriage, she's like, so what's next? And she's just looking at the guy sleeping on the bed. And she's just looking like, is this it? Yeah. If you didn't prepare, if you didn't cultivate a good relationship with yourself and with this person, yeah, that'll be it. You're just going to wake up after your wedding and you're like, okay, Okay, and then that is not God's plan for marriage. And two shall come together and become one. But the two must be whole first before they can come together to become one. Okay, the final thing I want to talk about is don't ignore the red flags. And I am not saying the red flags about someone else. Again, if you notice, we're talking about things you should know before you get married. Now, I'm assuming some who are watching this video may have met the person, but this is clearly, even if you've not met anybody, even if you're not in a relationship, like before you start thinking about marriage, before you even say yes to a proposal, before you even agree to date someone for the purpose of marriage, these are the things that you should know about. So if you're already in a relationship, you still learn something, but this is really for you if you haven't even been in a relationship and you're just preparing yourself for marriage. Don't ignore the red flags. And the red flags here are your own red flags. A lot of times we're very quick to tell somebody, oh, somebody does this, raises his voice a little bit, that's a red flag. If you do this, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. We don't talk about our own red flags. Yeah, you have been told a lot. Maybe growing up, you've heard compliments. You're very confident. You're very. Yes, you may be very confident. Or I'm trying to look for the perfect example. Some people may have given you some kind of compliments that, if you look deep within, or even if you look inward, you would see that is in between a compliment and an observation about character. Do you understand? So maybe, yeah, typical, like, you should be a lawyer when you grow up, or you can argue. And if you're feeling cute, like, Eloma, you may like to check it. Do you understand? Because you're going, again, like we said, you're going to be with someone who is coming from a totally different background, who feels like communication. Some people are open to talking about it. Like, let's talk about it. Some people want to chill and let it marinate and let it sink, let the tension go down. Please, if you hear it crying, it's my child, brushing. So, you would hear things like, yeah, you're very skilled, you're very argumentative, and you're thinking that it's a strength. It may not be a strength. It may not be a strength in marriage. It may be a strength in the courtroom. It may be a strength if you're doing debates. Hello, viewers. Hello, my co-debaters. Accurate timekeeper. It may be a compliment, but in marriage, you may need to check it. So again, so this is a very typical example. You know how that people say, or women say, oh, when is that time of the month? I get irritated, or I get short-tempered, blah, blah, blah. I never thought it applied to me. Never thought it applied to me. I mean, I'd always been a strong girl. I'd always been, And then I noticed for about 2 months, I was always upset. I was always short-tempered. I was always short-fused at a certain time. Now, because I didn't think it applied to me, I may have been with my partner and I'm like, you're the one with the problem. I don't have a problem. Do you understand? But I observed myself for like 2-3 months, and I discovered that it was at that same time, like that same period, there would always be a fight. There would always be an argument. I'm like, whoa, it is me. It's me. It's not you. It's me. So you have to know your own red flags. Yeah. You have to know what triggers you. You have to know what makes you behave irrational and work on it. Do you understand? So that you don't bring someone else into your life and make the person feel like a crazy person. Everyone has something that they're working on. So identify your own red flag. In another video, we probably will talk about, how to know if he's the one, how to know if she's the one. But in this one, we're talking about yourself. Look inwards. Marriage starts with an individual. You're not losing your identity because you're getting married. You're enhancing yourself. You're supposed to be enhancing yourself, because when two people come together, they should be better than one. Two good heads should be better than one. So make sure you're bringing a good head while you're waiting for another good head. Else, just keep your own one head and let the other person keep his own one head somewhere. Do you understand? So identify your own red flags and begin to work on it. Okay, if you're already in a relationship, you can still identify your own red. If you're already in a marriage, tell yourself the truth. Like, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. This is what I need to work on so that my marriage can be blissful. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. If you have watched to this point, please remember to click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.